Hello and welcome to the new Crackdown. And I'm only half joking when I call it that. Because in the same way that I ran around the fucking city looking for... What is it? Looking for the orbs and that. It's kind of what I'm doing with the ghosts in this. Unfortunately, going to be a short stream, but I'm having a great time with this game. And my goal, there's an achievement for... Oh, every time... Stop. Stop? Oh my god. Okay, well, I guess we'll do some side missions while we're at it. But yeah, I'm very taken with the spirit system in this. It's been a tremendous amount of fun. What's this? Radius boost. Okay, and then I'll grab this one. Alright.
Hey, you're getting a little better.
Slight spoilers, I suppose, for the story beat that I just passed. But if
That'll do it.
if that matters really to anybody. I think the only major complaint that I have with the game so far, because I've been playing this more as like a big open world collectathon. And I've been having a great time with it under that, guys. But
need to clear this fog to get farther north.
Search around. Gotta be a Tory gate somewhere.
what was I saying? Oh god. I've been playing it as like a big open world collectathon. And okay, cool. I don't fucking know what I was saying. Oh, yeah. I can see if my impression of this, especially because there's a bow and arrow, right, was that it was going to be Far Cry, right? But that is incorrect. It is not. This is like half Far Cry, half Crackdown, with like some elements of its own, honestly. And I think because of the hand powers, you could maybe easily look at it and be like, oh yeah, it's clearly like BioShock, right? But it's got enough going on that, like, yes, I am making these comparisons, but it I think it does enough on its own to be sort of an interesting entity aside of anything I can compare it to. But like, that still hasn't stopped me from like, ow, fuck, from looking at different things in the game and being like, oh, well, this is clearly an oh my fucking god, oh, from looking at things and being like, well, this is clearly an analog for this and other games. But I think that's also maybe where a lot of people took issues with it. You fucking asshole. Is trying to compare it broadly to other things. But navigating Shibuya in this has definitely reminded me of my enjoyment of the Crackdown games. Oh, you fucking you suck. Cause like, okay, I suppose some of the thoughts on it are as follows. Like, combat and perspective aside, the closest thing to, like, yeah, there's kind of outposts in the form of the Torii gates, however you pronounce that. Actually, I do not know. Fuck. No. You shit. But the Torii gates, instead of doing like the typical Far Cry thing where it's like, oh, it shows a bunch of stuff on the map. Like, it does that, right? It uncovers this fog. However, it also just, in Far Cry, the world is traversable even if you don't have access to the map. In this, it is not. So they serve the function of like physically actually opening up the map, which I think makes it, you know, unique enough to be considered somewhat separate. And then of course, you know, you pick up the bow and arrow, and I was like, haha, look. It's you know, it's Far Cry. But no, not really. Like, there are stealth attacks, there are you know, you can use the bow to navigate areas somewhat stealthily. But it almost
I thought people need to use the restroom too.
Do you hear a phone?
That's definitely odd.
Hold up. There's definitely a prioritization of, I think, the story. I just crossed a point. This is a really roundabout fucking explanation. But the spoilers I was talking about, I just crossed a point where the main character no longer had access to these powers due to story reasons. And so the stealth kills, the bow, those became the only weapons that he had access to during that segment, which was neat. And so I don't really know what the realities of this game's development were, but you can't really do that story beat without having access to those other mechanics, because this is, you know, it's an open world you have to navigate. There's lots of enemies in this open world, and if you don't give the main character, who for story reasons has no way to fight the ghosts by default, or the visitors, it becomes a bit of a challenge to create an interesting gameplay loop for that. I do think that it got resolved way too quickly. I think that if the combat loop had been expanded a little bit further, regarding, you know, the bow and the non-powers, that they could have carried that on for, you know, a long enough amount of time. It's almost like the gameplay loop based around those functions. They were like, ah, fuck, we got to wrap this part up so the player can get access to their powers again. Because otherwise, you know, there's a lot of stuff in the world that you can't do. But
What's this about?
I don't know. It's it's good.
There's only one stall.
What's going on?
There's someone in there making these unholy.
Probably worth checking out. Could be a specter.
Great. Public toilet. How glamorous.
But I think the other thing that I, in particular, have become enamored with this, which I don't know that it makes for the best like level design per se, but it's not often that you get first-person games, or maybe even third-person ones, set in dense city environments. Like, I know that Far Cry 6 has more of a focus on like cities, but like there's still the, you know, the jungle elements, the you know, the rolling green hills. And to have just this big, dense, crowded, like, look at all these fucking cars and the tall, like, especially the tall buildings. And, like, if you see that right there and that shit up there, I can go up there. There's a sense of verticality here that stuff like GTA doesn't have. And that's something that, having spent a lot of time playing GTA, I feel like is missing. Is, you know, something that I would like to see more of in open world games. So, come to my surprise that this game, yeah, it, I understand, I think, its reception being somewhat middling, but I'm really taken with the parts of it that I think are not necessarily unique, but maybe underserved in the first-person AAA market. So, I don't know. This is good. I like it a lot. And I am happy that the devs made it. Plus, I think just the sense of progression. Probably because of the fact that I'm spending so much of my time and energy in this, looking to get more of those spirits that I'm, you know, collecting, those floating blue balls. The progression of the character feels more akin to Crackdown to me than say Far Cry. Because in Far Cry it's about, you know, okay, now I can carry more guns or whatever. In this one, and perhaps it's just, you know, the way that they contextualize it. The way that it's contextualized is, you didn't get, wait, did I just unlock? Oh, that's super cool. Okay. The way that the progression, shut up. The way that the progression works is, since it's not, oh, I've upgraded my pistol, it's, now I can do this with this spell that I have. It feels less like Far Cry's, you know, sense of like, okay, I've got these takedown abilities. Those are definitely there, but it reminds me more of the skill progression in Crackdown. I don't think it's necessarily the most apt comparison, because there's definitely a lot of like Far Cry-ish elements here. But I don't know. I'm really happy this exists. And that I can play it on my platform of choice now is also a bonus. But it's fun. Now, I do wonder if I'll begin to find the spirit collecting somewhat tedious towards the end, because right now I'm still enjoying, you know, just navigating the city. But I think a lot of that is because of the focus on like free form climbing. Like, there's no like climb spots, right? Which I think would make this much more sterile. It would make it less interesting to play, because it would just be like, okay, I can climb here and that'll get me up there. And this one is like, if there's a ledge, you can try to grab it. Like, there are areas that I've gotten to by, like, he can't mantle on this stuff, right? But like, if I could somehow get on top of this, I might be able to get an extra like inch on my height and then mantle up to that other ledge. And that reminds me so much of, you know, trying to do the stuff in Crackdown early on. It's like, okay, I know I can get to this area as long as I can just, if I can hit that one ledge. And it's that, I think, as clean and as sterile as people probably find this game to be in its execution and its design, with, you know, the side missions and the, of course it's got RPG light elements and all that. I think that having that non-scripted, non-specified like climb point system that so many games have done to, you know, ensure that their presentation is as cinematic and beautiful as possible or whatever, it loses some of the charm that stuff like Crackdown and now this have. It's just, it's good. I like it. And having a game besides, you know, the Yakuza, or I guess now Like a Dragon series, that, you know, I would say fully realizes a large portion of non-American style architecture and city layout. Super cool. And definitely welcome. I hope that it's, you know, enough of a success that, while maybe not a Ghostwire 2, you know, just something else like this can be made by Tango. But yeah, aside from that, that's I guess that's my thoughts on the game 7 hours in. But I don't know, the fact that I'm just running around and like picking shit up and I'm like, yeah, woo. And I've been doing that for 7 hours while doing the occasional side mission or something. I think that's either saying something about the game, or maybe it's saying something about me. I don't know. Super good though. I'm a big fan. Alright. Let's see if we can knock her out with this. Yeah!
Stuff.
Hello? Who? Alright, time to figure out what this is like. So why do they have crutches jammed through them? Excuse me. But yeah, like just having, it's like I can grab any point along this roof. That's what I'm talking about with the sort of the freeform nature of it. And you've got like this glide ability, which I thought that it was going to be kind of different, but you know, it's fine. All right, let's try this charge ability. Shit. Okay, well, so the landing animation actually cancels out your ability to maintain the charge, so we'll just fuck, shit. Wonder how my audio mixing on this is. if I'm gonna be legible at all, or if it's just gonna be like a bunch of. Trying to think though, I did get some different prayer beads. There's so. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I know that there are prayer beads that you could equip on your character that give you the ability to sense nearby spirits, because apparently there are a finite amount, which is an interesting choice given the fucking couple 100,000 that they say they want you to collect.
You're okay now.
But yeah, I think there are probably some little tweaks here and there that I personally think would enhance the game a little bit more in its presentation, the context within the story, but also just the the moment to moment as a player. I don't know how you would do it, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, user interface wise, I'm not sure, but it would be cool, for example, to be able to have a more active version of that core grab that gave you the ability to as you're running along, do like string together actions, like with the katashiro, I believe is how you say it, and gathering the spirits. It's a little bit nitpicky on whether or not like, so I've got two right here, right? And once I free them, hopefully I can explain it. But so you've got the one, and you could do hold to absorb spirits. Okay, go. Also, I don't know if it's my controller, but I've had occasional issues with that. But like, okay, so like right here, perfectly in the middle, I can absorb both sets. But then say, right here, I'm only getting the one. It would be cool if I could like start to gather this one and then turn and maybe through some additional button press or something, chain them together after the fact. Same thing with grabbing the cores off of enemies after you've got them into sort of that stagger state. But I don't know. All in all, I'm really happy with what's here, and I'm looking forward to playing and streaming more of it. So I guess that's just it's just some thoughts on Ghostwire Tokyo and why I like it. But unfortunately, gotta go. And yeah, that's it.